Yo, what's going on everyone? This is Valoramous, and today's DJ tour we're going to discuss the display screen on the CDJ-3000. So I'm going to bring my camera around to the display screen and we're going to review in depth the features on this display screen and how it is much better than the CDJ-2000 Nexus 2. Okay, so this is the display screen of the CDJ-3000 and I'm going to cover the display screen functions on the CDJ-3000. So right now we have no thumb drive, no Rekordbox analyzed thumb drive, or Rekordbox exported thumb drive inside the CDJ-3000. So first step is to insert this into the thumb drive port. And then with my Ethernet cables and switch, it's going to connect it to the other CDJ-3000 over here. So now we're going to select the source, select my USB. And now we're just going to select a track. So let's select my track, punch kick slash rip. Okay. So the display functions here, you have beat loop, you can set a loop, you can exit out of that loop. You have key shift, I'm not going to touch that. And then you have beat jump. So beat jump is set to 4 down here. You can see that number 4 right there. This is player 2, track 1. This is how much time is remaining. You see it going down. Now you can, if you just tap that, now it's displaying that the time that has elapsed in the track. So 5, 6, 7. You have the waveform itself. If you want to zoom in on the waveform, you merely scroll this wheel, and then now when you play it, you can see the waveform much more intimately. And this is obviously deck 2 as opposed to deck 1 on the other side. And then down here you have a preview of where, like a bird's eye preview of where you were at in the track. So you can see the red tick mark. I'm just after that second cue point B. And then I have a third cue point, a fourth cue point, and a fifth cue point. Those are denoting the first drop and the second drop and then the outro section. So if I want to zoom out, then I can scroll this wheel back. You can't actually zoom in like this. You have to scroll this wheel. So this is the display screen. You have the hot cues at the bottom, 8 hot cues right here. And then you can go to the shortcut feature right here. And this is where you can change the color of the waveforms. I'm not going to go too in depth, but most folks either use RGB or 3-band. 3-band looks like this. It lets you know blue is low frequencies, white are the high frequencies, and then brown are the mid frequencies. So we're going to go back to shortcut. I'm just going to use RGB. You have the beat jump value right here. Screen brightness, you could turn this brightness down. I like it at like a moderate setting. Same thing with the jog brightness. I have it at a moderate setting. And then you can go here. This is the phase meter. You can touch this again and then it'll display the track on the other screen. So I'm going to play, or I'm going to load another track on the other screen. Going to source, and then going to my thumb drive, and then another track will play my track Someday. So Someday is right here. You got to turn on the auto cue button. And now you have the waveform right here. So the waveform, this can help you mix. So this is the master channel. Or actually, we'll have the other track be the master. I'm just going to put a loop on it. So this track will be the master. We'll beat sync just to make this easier. You can see it right here. And there's the red tick mark. Now, if I don't want the waveform, I can go here and go phase, and now I have the red tick marks. This is more similar to how the CDJ-2000 Nexus displayed the waveforms. It wasn't actually a waveform, it was like these boxes, but it was essentially tick marks of the 1 beat. So if you properly analyzed your track, then there was no issue here. Okay, so that's the display screen. Now you also have this utility. You have to hold this down. So if you hold down the utility button, then you're gonna have various settings. You can lock this track so if it's playing, you cannot accidentally load another track on top of it. That's really popular. I like to do that. Quantize beat value, you could set this to 1/8, 1/4, 1/2, or 1. I'd recommend that you actually have the quantize checked off unless you're doing something in particular where you would need that. Beat jump value, I like to set at 4 because that's typically how much I'd like to beat jump. I don't want to do 16 or 32 because it's almost, you're jumping too far ahead in the track. You can set hot cue colors on. If you insert a track that has not been analyzed in Rekordbox, then the hot cue colors will be different. I'm just gonna leave this to off for right now because all my music has been analyzed in Rekordbox. Cue level, this will set the first cue point based on a certain volume threshold that when the CDJ-3000 reads the track, it'll annotate a cue point at that particular moment. Vinyl speed adjust, you can also adjust this up here. Now you have the brightness settings, screensaver, language, slip mode. If I press slip, this will flash right here. The jog brightness, or jog ring brightness, you set this to 1, it's much more faint. I like to leave it on 2 so you definitely can see it. Yeah, I don't think you want it off. Pro DJ link, we're not gonna touch that. System itself, we're not gonna touch that. And then info, this will let you know which version you are using, so you have the most appropriate setting. Now, when we go to source, you can also decide a background color for your thumb drive. So for example, if I like the color purple, this will be purple, this will be purple, this will be purple. That's actually really beneficial because then if you're working with multiple thumb drives, then you can appropriately tag or color your various thumb drives. So I'm gonna leave it as purple. My settings load, if you press that, so I had that on CDJ mode. That's kind of a throwback, but when you press my settings load, it's gonna load your settings from Rekordbox into your display screen. So let's go to back, source, shortcut off. There we are. Now this is set to master, that's why you see this moving right here. But if there we go. So now it's not, you just got to use this scroll wheel to scroll in and out. So it depends on how you like it. Maybe you want to have more of a bird's eye view, but you also have a bird's eye view of the track here. So I think zooming in a little bit will help you, but you can only see so much because every red tick mark is 1 bar. But you can see the waveforms here, they're much more comprehensive than previous versions of the CDJ-3000 and 2000 Nexus. So use this screen to your advantage. There's a lot of great information here, and I will see you in the next video. So there you have it. If you have any other comments, questions, tips, or tricks to share with the audience, then please leave those in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.
Through fire and through flame, I'll rise up and defend my name. In war and in death, I'll stand strong until my